This video is to solve for either acceleration or final velocity given this equation right here. Acceleration is final minus initial velocity divided by your change in time. So the first problem says calculate the acceleration of an object that goes from 0 to 60 over a period of 2 seconds. So we're looking for A. So we're going to be using this equation and we're going to be trying to find and subtracting our velocities and divide it by the time that it takes. So if we read the problem, if it goes from 0 to 60, 0 is our starting speed, 60 is our final speed, and a period of 2 seconds, those are units of time. So we're going to take 60 and plug it in for final velocity, subtract 0, and divide by 2 seconds is our final time. Our starting time would be 0. So 60 divided by 2 is 30, and we're going to end up with meters per second squared as our units. Problem 2 is similar. You're going to be solving for acceleration. So we're going to look at that, and it's going to go from 10 to 100. So 10 is our starting speed, 100 is our final speed, and 5 seconds will be our time. So we're going to plug in final of 100 for VF minus 10 divided by 5 minus 0. So 100 minus 10 is 90 divided by 10 turns out to be 45 meters per second squared. The next one, they're looking for the car's final velocity. So this time you're going to need to use the equation, but VF is going to be our unknown. So we're going to take, and they're going to figure out what everything is. So if it's traveling at 20 meters per second, that's the starting speed. So that's going to get plugged in for VI. It accelerates at a rate of 2 meters per second squared. Those are units of acceleration. And the word clues, accelerates, tells us 2 is going to be our A. And then 5 seconds will be our time. So we're going to plug 2 in for A. VF is the final velocity, what we're looking for, and VI then would be 20. We're going to divide that by our time, 5 seconds minus 0, and so what you're going to do is we're going to solve this. We're going to say 2 over 1 equals VF minus 20, and we're going to have that over 5. So if we cross multiply and divide, we're going to take 2 times 5, so 2 times 5 equals the VF minus 20 times 1. So VF minus 20 goes over here. So we have 10 equals VF minus 20. To get rid of the 20, you add 20 to both sides. So you end up with 30 meters per second being VF. Same problem for number 4. We're trying to find the car's final velocity. So we're going to take our acceleration and we're going to plug it in for A. And that would be, it says accelerates at a rate of 1 meters per second squared. So that's A. So I'm going to plug 1 in for A. My final velocity is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to write that down. And I know since the car was traveling at 10 before it did this other acceleration, that's my starting speed. So I'm going to plug 10 in for initial velocity. It took 5 seconds, so that's going to be my time. And if I just subtract minus 0, I don't have to write that out. So I'm going to cross multiply and divide. So 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times VF minus 10. And I'm going to now add 10 to both sides. So I have 15 equals VF. Meters per second would be my units. And that is my solution.